since y'all started your sod farm and you got into a New Holland Power Star because of old Big Jake over here, how's that tractor been for y'all's operation? And how's it held up? And just kind of y'all's thoughts on that tractor.
The tractor's been pretty awesome. I mean, kind of really everything that we could ask for as far as between mowing and moving pallets out of the field and running an aerator and kind of everything in between. We actually even running back to the barn quite a bit, and as far as moving feed and cleaning pens and stuff like that back at the pig farm. So it's been a tractor we've used a lot over the last year, and not to mention the 0 money down and 0% interest.
That was great.
That was a huge part of buying the tractor at the beginning, because obviously I would say just a year ago we did not have much funds when we were starting the sod farm.
Right.
So it allowed us to give us an opportunity to use that tractor for a full year to, have some hope and generate that money before our first payment even came.
Yeah,
So
I think we're going into a business that maybe we know a little about. We don't know how it's going to work for us. We don't know if it's going to generate money. Obviously we went before we were ready and it worked and all that, but that was like a step that made that easy. I mean, we could have done it, but it's like, hell, we can 0 down, 0 interest. That some bitch paid for itself, several times already without even paying for it, $1 for it. And I think for y'all, that's a huge deal. I've told so many buddies, I'm like, hey, dude, listen, you buy new equipment there, you can do this. And that's a huge selling point.
Option that the OEM offers for clients to get into stuff, but it takes, like I said, good credit to qualify for it, and like good old Big Jake over here.
Got the guys Big Iron. I'd be in the grass business if it wasn't for them two, because I never thought about doing it.
Yeah, so it just kind of goes all the way around.
Going back to what it's done for us, man. We wear that thing out. We're hard on the paint, if you will.
There you go.
I mean,
that's what
it
it is.
Bitch
runs.
runs.
The fuck I said earlier.
We put a lot of hours on that thing. Just lots of different ways. It's been good to us. When we first bought it, we were in the first, I guess, growing season of our sod. So it sat in the barn and had tits on the tires, and we finally put new ones on it to run on our sod grass,
turf grass stars.
And since then, every single day we got a lot of farm row crop tractors that just sit in the barn, and this one gets ran every day. We put it to work, and it's been very good for us. Been diverse. It's been able to do a lot of things. Been able to make us a lot of money.
That's awesome.
Well, I would say half the battle to any of these businesses is let your equipment, but more importantly, your finances, work for you and not against you. I think a lot of people forget that, especially as salesmen, is what's better for the customer. Because at the end of the day, if you don't grow, if you're not profitable, then you're not going to buy another tractor. You're not going to buy anything because you can't afford it.
You'd be broke.
Yeah. And so, how can you use what you potentially don't have? How can you get acquired into it? And then how can you continue to grow your operation in there? And, not using, like y'all said, y'all have some 8Rs, y'all have some case tractors, you have some kind of a bag of everything. Not using a 400 horsepower tractor on something that you don't need that much power. That's a lot of depreciation, it's a lot of fuel cost, a lot of wear and tear that you don't have to run. And moving forward to that, you're saying that those tractors you're not using them as much, you're not wearing on them as much, you're making more money because you're using a smaller tractor in this application. Where do you see y'all's businesses growing? We see that we haven't had great rainfall. I think we spoke on that in the couple podcasts where this area of Texas hasn't had great rainfall. We're not seeing great outputs of cotton yields, and we're not seeing great yields on wheat and milo and what else is out there. So how are you going to grow your other two outfits, which is the pig, and you grow your sod farm?
Well, I think I sent you a Snapchat last night. Late at night, I was plowing out my failed grass farm. They lost their ass. It's part of it. We're going to keep the hammer down. You just got to keep expanding. again, start before you're ready. You know, we built the clientele to sell what we got. We got to keep going. We got to keep marketing. We're not good at marketing. We're horrible.
No,
if we can
not at
market it,
all.
I've watched people market things and not to run you down, but like, hey, we can do that better. But we don't put it in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, we don't market. If you can
We
market
always try to
things,
let the product speak.
we've always just like
As far as
sit
raising-
back and like, hey, we got the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. I mean, it will, and it does. But like, reach out, reach people. So growing, going forward, show pigs and sod as marketing, and we will go until we can't. But marketing is our biggest deal, and like as far as expanding, that's the plan. I think marketing and just don't quit, keep hustling.
What's the future for y'all three? I mean, it sounds like everything, all y'all's endeavors, y'all do together. So, is there a future endeavor that y'all haven't done that y'all been thinking about?
That's a good question.
I like to keep the cat in the bag.
like the cat in the
I
back?
keep the cat in the bag.
Is there any meows that you'd like to let spill out?
How about this? Is there something that y'all had thought about in the past, but you're like, nah, definitely not doing that?
Man, I think we actually had this discussion today. We've become a pretty diverse operation. We're kind of at the point where we've got to kind of focus on what we are doing and push the limit, or like just go harder at what we are doing.
For the moment, I think.
For the moment, we do have some plans to reach into other, I guess, categories of business or whatever. But right now, we're kind of trying to
we need to
really focus on what we're doing.
I think we're stable, but we need to be like generating a lot of dough where we're at.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that's happening before we. I mean, we got ideas, we got plans, and I hope to bring them to life. But I think we just need to stay to be on top of the game.
Finish what
We
we
need to
started.
finish,
Yeah, or at
and-
least
and-
get 80%.
and have them stable enough where we can be elsewhere, and that business runs itself. I mean, you can't ever do that. But like employees and people you trust to run the businesses you're running, and then go another step. But
I just asked that because
We need
Harrison
more people.
about every 6 months comes to me with some
What are we gonna
crazy,
do?
crazy idea, and I'm just like, oh man, you need to really turn back around and look at what we got in front of us
We
here.
probably
we need
do
to sit
have.
down and max out.
We probably do have 2 or 3 ideas that have been mentioned and talked about amongst us. Like I said, I don't like to talk about those necessarily because right now we really need to focus on kind of what we started before we
Absolutely.
jump onto another.
Well,
Absolutely.
Sterling
Project.
brought a lot to the table when he came to Big Country, and obviously it wouldn't be the way it is without him.
Come on.
Roll time.
Sydney hit. Oh,
But one thing that he really helped me with, and is, like I said, is kind of my flaw, and I've worked on a lot, is focus on what we've already built and let that become the full capacity of its fruition that it's going to be. And so, just work on it, bring it to light, let it, start steamrolling, and then roll on from there. But I don't think, an arrow only flies as well as it is straight. If you got a bent arrow,
Sounds like a tattoo.
wraps around the arm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the arrow, it's the
The
Indian.
Indian.
That's
a
tattoo.